Yet another clean sheet for Arsenal. Arteta and Arsenal are building a defense and a team that is very formidable. If you look at their defense, the whole way they defend, the way they have defended their goals throughout this season and even last season, they are building a defense that is very good. If you talk about Saliba and Gabriel, the two 5 and 6 defenders, they have defended perfectly, almost perfectly. Let me not say perfectly, but almost perfectly throughout the season. Now, guys, if you look at Arsenal defense, if you look at the what they have built and the Champions League they played yesterday, they have built a team, especially in that defense, that strikers in quote now should be. Let me. Not, I'll not use the word afraid, but they don't now know that Arsenal defense are up to the task with any other person, any attacker that is coming, they are coming against. They have to be on top of their game for them to get something against this Arsenal defense.
Yeah, Arsenal have a credible defense. We said it a couple of days back when we said that in Europe right now you don't get better than Saliba and Gabriel at the center halves, and they have the two best center half partnership. Other clubs may have world class center halves, but they don't have a world class center half partnership like we're seeing at Arsenal. And the last time we saw something like this when we'll talk about the likes of the pairing we had at Real Madrid at some time between Pepe and Ramos. We talk about the pairing we had at FCB too. We talk about the likes of Puyo. Even when you come to the Premier League, you look at the likes as we saw at Chelsea a couple of decades ago, and then
Terry and
you see,
Carvalho.
yeah, you see these credible pairings, and it's not every day you see them. Of course, it's incumbent on Arsenal now to keep these players together as long as possible. But I think we wouldn't be seeing the strength we are seeing in that defense without the addition of Calafiori and without the recovery of Timber, because these guys have come back and have added upon the strength Arsenal have in the center. And of course, whenever these partnerships are not playing, you have the capable hand of Quio in the back to come into the team and help out. So Arteta has done fantastically well when you talk about signings in the defense, and when you talk about the two players who are playing in that position, how they've performed well. Arsenal so far this season have only considered about 6 or 7 goals this season, and the two major matches where you have them conceding more than one goal was when they played a 4-2 win at home to Leicester City. They conceded two, and when they played that 2-2 draw with City. So they've been good
So
so
anytime
far.
anytime they go against City,
But
anytime they go against City, they go concede 2 goals.
okay,
I said the only times they've
Now,
conceded
I
two
complete your
goals this
sentence now.
season
So
okay,
anytime they go
is when
against
they
City,
played that Leicester City and then
anytime when
Man
they play
City.
against City, whether na
okay.
Leicester City or Man City or Norwich City, anytime they play against City, they go concede 2 goals.
But okay, if you look at this Arsenal team, I know you probably might not agree with John being this formidable now. I think it's the early stages, even though they considered less goals last season. Again, they were good defensively, they were good last season, but this season they have improved. Do you think that they have improved? Because defense wins you title. That's the truth.
According to Fergie now,
Yeah,
wetin dey
defense
talk
wins you
now.
title. That's why you kept buying
When
the
Fe- when
Ferdinand and
there was
the
something
Vidic.
he said they didn't get world class defenders. I agree with that. Many teams have world class defenders right now, but they don't have pairings.
Okay, the partnership.
The partnership is the partnership that gets them to the world class level, whether individually or separately. The partnership is what gets you world class. Your performance day in, day out is what gets you world class. When he was mentioning Puyo, and at some point you felt like, was Puyo doing most of the work? It was Puyo with the rugged work, PK with the build-up play. At Real Madrid, it was they were. If he called different pairing for Real Madrid, he went on to call the most recent pairing of Ramos and Pepe. He forgot the Ramos and most recent one, of course, is Ramos and Rudiger. So not Ramos and Varane. Then Rudiger and Militao, which they still concede goals. And you still go back in time, you see great defenders defending parents. So I'm saying, like, I agree with him. It's not the world class rating of the player that they're bringing in. It's the partnership if it will get them to world class. We saw the likes of what's it called, Ferdinand and this thing. At some point, that was the best defensive pairing in the Premier League. JT and Ricardo Carvalho. Defense at some point too. They were these two players up front. When you say the best defensive pairing, you don't want to know whether they are defensive world class or defensive anything. who's the what defensive pairing you know? That's the name you call. So currently, if you're looking at the Premier League now and you're saying defensive pairing, at some point I would have gone for Van Dijk and Matip, but that pairing didn't really serve.
Matip is out of the team.
No, that's what I'm saying. That pairing didn't really serve. Now it's Konate and Van Dijk. It's still a good pairing. Van Dijk does most of the work. Now he's learned to do most of the work instead of hiding under the shadow of cover-ups. He's learned to do most of the work, and he's also good on build-up play. So in Arsenal now, one person does the dirty job, while the other person is calm in build-up play. And I think Gabriel is calm in build-up play, can distribute passes properly, but Saliba is good with the tackles, can get into areas where he can intercept the pass. We saw that with Chelsea, I think last season and last 2 seasons, with this man running around doing almost all the work, while other person who just received the praise, Thiago Silva. So for me, it's not about the rating of the player, it's about the work the players get on the pitch. And I think, to quote Ferguson, since we are quoting Ferguson here, he said something about get world-class players up front. That was something Ferguson said in one of his books. He said, get world-class players up front, or players that would go on to be world-class up front. Then get workhorses that are creative behind them. You get a good team, because everybody wants to give the world-class players to bury the chances. That's why you have midfielders in Man United that you probably didn't know their names when they came into the club. But in Man United, they became world-class. So if Arsenal is going to be taken from those textbooks, small those intelligence, if you look at Man City, the same thing. If they're going to be taken from this textbook, you have workhorses that are creative in the midfield, then you can go on to win titles.
Okay, John, let's refer to the yesterday's game. Arsenal winning that game 2-0. Apart from that, their defense, I think people might say that Arteta is Pep's student, but we have seen over the past 2 years that Arteta is revolving. It's not like this one style of play like Pep. We keep attacking. He knows when to attack. He sometimes knows when to defend. Like defense, we'll kill ourselves here. He knows when to balance it, attack and defend. So what do you make of the way Arteta has been planning this Arsenal team for the past 1 or 2 years now?
I tell you, when you look at Pep and you look at Arteta, you have to draw the line where the two managers have their blind spots. Okay? And when you draw it where the two managers have their blind spots, you get to see the degrees of differences between the two of them. Now, the first one, when you look at Pep has a philosophy. And Pep will continue from now to whenever he retires. He will continue iterating on that philosophy.
He will attack you till he dies.
He will continue iterating, improving, perfecting. He's only susceptible to change when it becomes obvious, either through an embarrassment like he faced at the hands of Madrid when he couldn't win the Champions League, or when
at Lille when he lost the quarterfinals.
Yeah,
when he get mind, enter Champions League quarterfinal, I know carry defensive midfielder.
So that's
he learned the hard way.
That's when he's open to change. And to a certain level, if you look at his results, pari passu with his losses, you can see that he has something winning. He doesn't need to change. Whereas on the other side of the spectrum, you have an Arteta that has a core foundation from Pep and a core foundation from his time playing to the point he became a manager. There was an article that came out yesterday that that Arteta's philosophy, or Arteta as a person, was built during his loan spell at Paris Saint-Germain when he was playing alongside Okocha and the likes of them, But Arteta has all these traits, has all this stuff, but is in a kind of, would I say, a semi-phase where he has not yet earned the respect that Pep has in terms of winning the titles, the silverware. And so he often has a chip on his shoulder because he has a point to prove. So he's more amenable with these things. You understand me? He's more amenable with his tactics. He's more amenable with looking at the situation, looking at what the situation requires. The most important thing for Arteta going forward is, if you look at Arsenal year in, out, are we progressing? Rather than are we sticking to our philosophy? You understand me? If we see Arteta win a couple of silverware, Arteta might default into the Pep standard, which is, we've perfected this, it's working, we die here, nothing changes.
Okay, let me ask. Now, they scored another set piece. Again, Saka crossing that, but even though it was meant for be a cross, but he entered. The people talking about now is always trending. Whenever they score a set piece, that art will start trending. See, now they have added Merino to that team. They have added Havas. Everybody that is like the corner kicks are like, let them get corner kicks, they will just score.
Look at it now. For that set piece Arsenal game last night is something that every other club has considered from. Man United don't consider. I think Man United versus Barcelona last season, Europa League, considered from that kind of play. But though that one was not a set piece, you aim for the far post, and because players running, you think everybody thinks you are crossing the ball, somebody will make a touch.
Yes.
But he's going for the far post, so it's not error. It's planned. It's pre-planned. Everything that works, everybody is always like, you see, there's something. I think they've sanctioned 2 coaches for sending spies into opposition's team. But we also forget that they've been spying on training sessions, not today. Sometimes press the league training session to the other team. So these teams they've done their homework on this team. They've done their homework on how they set up. So they know that in set pieces, everybody's expecting to attack the ball for mid. So he aimed to play in the far post, and nobody expected it to be there because every defender's mind was here. Like one of my, this comic book they did now, Super Strikers that year. There was one that Sheks went for training. He said, when you're defending a set piece, you don't defend this ball, you attack the ball because your opposition is trying to score you. So you also try to score them by nodding the ball away. So you nodding the ball away is like getting a goal ahead of them, because once you nod the ball away and your teammates get hold of it, it's a counter attack. So for Arsenal, they've perfected the art of attacking the ball in the opposition's half, in the opposition's box 18, and scoring goals.
I think that's not the difference between Pep and Arteta.
See,
if you look at Arteta is using,
it was even.
They don't really. If most times, City pass their corner kicks, like they pass it out. Then
look at it.
But Arteta changed the whole thing for Arsenal.
I think at some point when he was still assistant coach, he advised Pep to bring in a set piece coach. It took Pep 6 months to agree to that advice, because after that 6 months, it seems they were losing a lot of set piece. Then after that 6 months, Pep brought in a set piece advisor, and they started scoring some of their set pieces, though it wasn't like regular.
Like Arsenal.
But now Arsenal has make set piece coach. You know what me say? He used 2 years, because immediately he came to Arsenal, he brought a set piece coach. So first 2 years, it didn't really work out. But the last 2 years, you've been seeing them improve gradually. So it's about bringing a set piece coach, bringing the mentality, mental health coach, bringing everything and making sure a psychologist, and making sure that everything is in place. And I think Arteta, for me, they had me to talk, but make I just talk. Make I talk. They had me, but I go stuck am. He don't try.
That's the best you can say. It's fine, but it is to be expected. What will you expect from a West Ham and Man U fan? But for me, I just want to say, speaking on this dark arts matter now, it's fine and good when the likes of Stoke City use it. It's fine and good when the likes of Sunderland and Cole use it. It's fine and good when the likes of Manchester United, wait, calm down. If I'm not, I can call their name from the era of my choice.
If you say you call Liverpool now, go understand.
From the era of Scholes, you know that Man U's pattern at set pieces, on when Scholes was around, was they make a short pass and pull the ball out to the half circle in front of the 18, and Baba is there waiting to rebound and score that ball.
Even if they cross, they always stand there to play.
He's always there to, that's their format and their pattern.
It's called pouncing on loose balls.
That's the pattern and format that Man U use.
That's why Lampard is the highest goal scoring midfielder in the Premier League.
So all I'm saying is that it's fine that fans who enjoyed this dark art before are the ones calling it out now, because their teams have dropped these tools, So maybe when their teams go back to these tools, this cry of dark art will subside.
Okay, now finally, the Arsenal defense, they are built. Do you think that this defense, Saliba, and okay, even if they get an injury, like Kafuli can play as a centre back,
yes.
Kiwo can play as a centre back, even White can play as a centre back, but I think the foundation on, if these two guys, Saliba and Gabriel, they don't get injured throughout the season like last season, they have a shot for the title in the Champions League. But now, if you look at the defense as a whole for Arsenal, do you think that the foundation is right for them to win at least the Premier League or the Champions League this season? No, sir.
The Premier League, I go think about that. The Champions League, it never crossed my mind. The Premier League, it's in my head, maybe, because they've given results 2 seasons in a row, second. I think Klopp did the same thing now, 4 years, third, second. Baba try until he collect and once after 4 years. So
during COVID.
No, they talk that during since they finish.
During
it's
COVID.
a win.
See whether not behind.
During COVID.
You see what?
John, let me correct that impression. They were about 12 points or 11 points ahead before that COVID.
This now proves that John and his City mentality is a bad loser, because when you win, it's good. But when you lose, you now start finding excuses.
It not consign me. Simple and short.
Whether not during COVID or not during COVID, now your statement means you're a very terrible loser.
It's still the same thing.
You get?
Let's
They
call
win
it
the
as it
title
is.
after 4 years.
Okay, let's
Baba was even on the route to win the title. So you see that after 4 years, he kept on pushing. He kept on gingering his
Why
players.
he didn't give up last season?
He don't win everything we need to win. See, one thing you need to understand is no matter how bad it is, the mentality of the board and the fan base and the side will determine if you stay longer on the job. Baba don't give all the energy. Just like Diego Simeone, after 3 years in La Liga and he didn't touch a trophy, do you think he will still have this ginger on the sidelines? The ginger go don't die since. He go don't find whether he go Saudi or so.
But if you look at this Arsenal team,
But Arsenal team now, you understand, he don't dey there, he don't the ginger. Even now, the ginger don't dey more quiet, because now always
it's more calmer now.
he's calm now because the work he has put in is paying off. So you get now. It's only the only thing where I would say, I don't talk. I mean, don't try. In the try, get somebody who can bury the 1,000 chances you create.
That's what I want to ask John. Now they actually
Because the Moreno you brought in, the Moreno you brought in,
I will say this over and over again.
the Moreno you brought in can play as a Thomas Partey position, but he cannot win balls back. You get? So Declan Rice will go back to win balls, go back for the tackles and interceptions, and Moreno will build up play from defense to attack. It's good, but you need someone that will be in front. Even if you are building from the back, we need a Moreno ahead of Partey, no problem. But in case you want to win matches, you want to win trophies, you need to bury 1,000 chances when you create 1,001 chances.
Okay, John, they need an attacker. If they have built a good defense,
the midfield
is good.
The midfield has competition, no problem.
That for them to win the Premier League or the Champions League, they need probably a Haaland in that team.
Yes, they need a striker, but I will also come back
Havertz is doing well this season.
I will also come back, keep Havertz one corner, beg. No, wait till they talk. We also need to have an out-and-out striker up front. I'll come back to harp on the fact that Arsenal still don't have a direct like-for-like sub for Partey, and they don't have same for Saka. So they need to.
And like.
If you don't need that means you will not make up for the player either by bringing in two players on to replace one player job, which is not productive.
No, look at it now. Partey, understand, Partey, he doesn't have much pace. He's a defensive midfielder. His build-up play is good. His tackles are good. But look at the way he intercepts the ball. The numbers are not adding up. The interceptions are not adding up. The tackles lead to fouls. Moreno, on the other hand, intercepts fine. Interception, they high. So he reads the game, goes to where the pass is coming to, and stops the game. While you have a Rice that can do intercepts, you understand, that can intercept and can tackle. You see the numbers are adding up for Declan Rice.
I think the rumors there is that Rice will drop back to number 6.
Definitely, then Moreno will be a build-up player. Because I've seen Rice play at West Ham. I've seen him play before now. I know he's a good midfielder. I'm not going to take away the fact that he's a good midfielder. But his build-up play,
that's the problem.
That is why Partey is always starting. That's why Partey would always start. You get? But if Moreno comes in now, he's not coming in because Rice will now have to do the work of intercepting, tackling, winning the balls back, running around because he has that space. Moreno now will not be in charge of build-up play, which is what Partey has been doing.
So, what do you think Arsenal?
They have competition in midfield. They just need, what I need now is replacements for Odegaard, proper replacement that can bring something different. Even if Odegaard is giving forward passes, he can bring passes. You understand? Something different, but also attacking minded, not a defensive minded attacking footballer.
Okay, Arsenal
and a striker that can bury 1,000 chances. It's just like that.
Arsenal is building. Arteta is building something formidable in Arsenal. Now they have won that game against PSG by 2-0. At some point they were attacking PSG head on, full attack. And suddenly in the second half, he started to start managing the game and he defended a little bit and tried to hit on the counter. I think he's different from Pep, the way he set up his team. But now they have built a good defense in Saliba and Gabriel and Califoli and Timber. They still have White, they still have Kiwo and other defense that will make up this strong defense for Arsenal. They have built a good midfield too. And probably what they are missing is a striker. They have Havertz, which is trying. Then Jesus is not even doing anything good this season. Probably in January they need another striker to compete with Havertz if they are going to be winning the Premier League or the Champions League.